Hello everyone, I'm sorry I'm doing my presentation in English, but my German is really awful. So I'm going to present what we are doing in the state of Geneva about the BIM building permits. So we have in Geneva a BIM program, which is a program of the state, so it's for all the state of Geneva. And this program is structured with a roadmap which was written in 2017. And inside this roadmap we have 9 components, which are the 9 subjects about where we have to do some things to implement BIM for the states. So for me, the most painful one is the change management, because you have to change all the minds of all the person inside the state, and to convince them that it's the right thing to do and that's the way that they were doing their job was not bad, but can be improved. And you see all the other components here. And we also have 3 axes. It's the main mission of the state where BIM is useful. So the first one is the one where I'm gonna explain here, is the state as a control authority. So in Geneva, I don't know if it's the case in Luzern, but in Geneva it's the state that's managing all the building permits. In some cantons, it's the cities that's managing their own building permits. And the other one, the second axe, is the state as asset manager, is the one where the state is able to improve their process for their facility management of their own building or infrastructure. And with the 2 first ones, we can improve the mission of the state as a territory manager, with the capitalization of the first one with the private sector and the public sector, and the second one with all the buildings and infrastructure from the public sector. We can manage all the territory. So the strategy of Geneva for the BIM program is to be based on open BIM and only on open BIM. We only accept IFC for model, and also some other standards like BCF, it's like comments inside a model. We also did our own development. So what I'm going to show you is our own platform that we develop ourselves inside the state. And it's based on open source. So we took some open source bricks and put them together and did a really huge platform. Our strategy is also based on Swiss and international standards in terms of architecture, modeling and BIM. And we have a state's governance through what we call the Centre de Compétences Métiers BIM, which is the center of competence for the BIM, which centralizes and coordinates all the state BIM program and all the needs of the state regarding BIM. And so I already said it, we have only one transversal platform for all the needs of the states. So for all the 3 axes that I showed you just before, we have only one platform to do that. Some steps in the BIM implementation inside Geneva States. So it started in 2017, as I said, with the roadmap. Then I arrived in 2020 to be the head of the BIM program. And that's when we really started to do some things inside for the BIM, because before nobody was really has really the knowledge to implement really BIM and to know what's really BIM. So then we started our own developments for the BIM platform in 2021. In 2023, we opened publicly the platform, so in October. And now we are currently creating all the documentation and finishing all the documentation and all the documentation for all the training, and starting to implement BIM for the facility management. If I'm going inside what we are doing in BIM digital building permits, so we didn't change the process. It's the same business process. It's the building permits. We just implement BIM inside. We have one standard for digital building permits that Manfred showed just before. And it's self-checking tool. I will show you after. We give datas, so GIS data and BIM configuration file that architects and engineers can put inside their BIM software to help them construct their model. We have one platform, the building permits platform, which is increased by the BIM platform, and documentation, and we will have trainings. So the process is inside 3 main steps. The first step is inside architects and engineer company, so they are preparing the BIM file. So I will explain you later inside what's inside. The second main step is the submission inside the digital building platform, building permit platform, and then the processing of the BIM building permits with the cantonal administration. So the first step, we offer territorial data in OpenBIM, in IFC formats. So that's the SITG site, and you can choose an area and extract IFC data. It's more complicated than Manfred showed you, because it's we have all the data that we want put inside. So we have trees, we have buildings, and we have bridges and so on. And for now, the cantonal website doesn't have all this data. So we have to take all this data from from Swiss Topo and so on. So we have 4 main models. The first one is what's upper ground, with the buildings, the trees, the road, the bridges, and so on. The second one is the parcels and the cadastres. The third one is the what we call PLQ in Geneva. It's the area of implementation of the new project, urban building templates. And the last one is the all we have underground with the pipes and so on. So now architects with all this data can prepare their BIM file. So there are the standards with what you showed before, with all the for all objects what kind of data we need inside. And to do it, we expose some configuration file for the two main software, BIM software, Archicad and Revit, which is the really main software in Geneva. 99% of the architects and engineers use the two of them. And it's all the files to prepare and to put all the parameters that we need. Then you have an online checker. So you just need to put a mail and your file. It will be deleted 1 hour just after the check. And you can control if you have some problems, if you have some parameters missing or parameters not in the right standards. And you can do it every time you want until you have 0 for the blocking point, which is blocking the submission afterwards. Then to submit BIM building permits, you need to create your project inside the ACDMAT, which is the platform for building permits. It's the same for BIM building permits and building permits in PDF. So you create your project and you put the documents, and inside the documents you have the BIM model to put. So you search for it, you put the BIM model, and then you check it. It's the same checker as the checker online, and it will put the report inside the platform. You have 0 blocking points, so you can continue. And you can, it's not yet in the platform, it's an evolution, but you can fill all the forms, or some of the forms inside the platform with the model. So all the data inside the model will fill the forms that you need to fill before submitting your project. Then here I need to launch here manually. So then you can overlay the 2D drawing to the BIM model, because the problem is that legally what counts is the number in the plan, in the 2D plan, into the 2D drawing. It's the number which counts for the legally for. So we need to have all the quotation inside. And for now, the BIM model is not able to have this kind of type of numbers easily. So you overlay the drawing, and then you have the project. Now I will switch side, and it's the side of the inspector from the administration. So the step is that what's inside the platform when they receive the project, and they have the BIM model and the report of the checking. They can see the report if it's working, and then he has view that we configure in the centre de compétences, which is view for controlling all the laws, not all, but a lot of the laws that we have in Geneva and in the federal state. So it's the laws that we put, and here it's not an automatic control, it's a semi-automatic control, because all the calculation is done by the computer, but it's the inspector that's giving the right or not the right to go through. It's with all this calculation that he will manage to know what he has to do, and then he will say that if you want to go through, perhaps you need to modify something. And then, as I said before, the BCF, the format that is comment on BIM, the inspector can put a comment, and afterwards the applicant will see this comment, which is localized inside the model. It's coming soon too. This is the way to see the project inside his surrounding, because it's for example, for the architecture commission, it's really important to know if it's right with the surrounding. And then the last part is the answer to the administration from the applicant's view. So here you see the notice of it's a PDF notice, and here, if you have a little cube here, that's the notice is inside the BIM, and you can go inside the BIM, see what's the problem, and export in BCF to be able to have it inside your BIM software. And that's all. Thank you.